The 24-25 Premier League season is about to begin, so today we are making our yearly Premier League predictions. Who is going to win the Premier League, who is going to finish in a European spot, who will have a surprising season, and who, of course, will be relegated. All those questions will be answered today. Now, before we start, as I always say, guys, every single year, please don't hate me if you don't agree where your team ends up in the table. And of course, before we begin, please hit the like button for me and hit the subscribe button with the little noti bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Why do I ask you to subscribe? Because I know that you are not subscribed. Like, trust me, I know. I have the analytics and the stats for every single video and who watches them, and I know that most of you are not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button. Let's go and predict the 24-25 Premier League table. So we have our tiers. The first is obviously the champion, who's going to win the Prem. Second to fourth is guaranteed Champions League spots. Fifth is most likely Europa League. Sixth and seventh, other potential European places as well. Eighth to 10th is mid-table, higher mid-table. 11th to 14th is definitely mid-table. 15th to 17th is lower mid-table, and then relegation is the bottom three: 18th, 19th, and 20th. Those three, unfortunately, will be going down to the championship. Now, the first team that we're going to start with is Wolves, and where will Wolves finish this year? I do not think Wolves will be relegated, but I don't have a lot of hope for Wolves either to climb higher up the table. They've had a bit of a fall off in the last couple of years, really struggling to score goals in the Premier League, but they did sign Johan Strand Larsen from Celta Vigo, so he's probably going to be that main man that needs to score goals for Wolves. I do think that Wolves will avoid relegation, but I think they're going to be in that 15th spot. That's where they're going to be. Moving over to the next W team, it is West Ham United, and my oh my, did West Ham ever make a splash this summer, guys. Nicholas Füllkrug has come in from Borussia Dortmund. Crescencio Somerville has come in from Leeds United. He's just a fantastic, talented player and super young still. Guido Rodriguez has come in from Real Betis. You mix those players up with Jared Bowen and Mohamed Kudus, James Ward-Prowse, Edson Alvarez. This team is looking very, very good on paper, and I think they're going to perform very well as well, and I think they're going to finish in the top 7. I'm putting them in 7th. Going to T now, and it is Tottenham, a club that always has high aspirations but kind of falls short every single year. Now, of course, the question is, are Spurs capable of winning the Premier League this season? I would say probably not. There are better teams and better clubs out there with more talent, but are they able to attain a high place finish once again? And I would say definitely yes. I think they are going to finish just ahead of West Ham in 6th. Moving over to a newly promoted club that is finally back in the Premier League, it is the Saints. It is Southampton. Now, my main worry with Southampton is the lack of goal scoring. I just don't think they have the offensive players to compete and consistently score goals in the Premier League match after match. Yes, they got Adam Armstrong. He's okay. They did lose Che Adams to Torino, but they brought in Ben Brereton Diaz, who played at Sheffield United last season. Now, I could be wrong, guys, but I think Southampton will go down and they'll be relegated. Nottingham Forest, a club that's been toying with relegation for the past several seasons, up and down, up and down, up and down, always avoiding relegation and somehow miraculously staying up. This offseason, they have been busy signing some pretty decent players. One, the Serbian Nikola Milinkovic, the center back from Fiorentina. And honestly, for Forest, that is a pretty decent signing. This year, it's going to be the same story. They will avoid relegation, but they're not going to improve very much. They will finish in 16th spot. Now, what about Newcastle United? What a team. Alexander Isak, one of the best strikers in the Premier League, in my opinion, just very, very skilled, very talented, very, very good goal scorer. After finishing 4th in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, last year, Newcastle dropped off a little bit and finished in 7th, but honestly, that was because of injuries. But now going into this season, I feel that there's just so much more competition for those top 6, 7 spots. Like, look at West Ham. We just talked about them. They've improved their squad so much. I think Newcastle will finish exactly where they finished last year, or just around there. They're gonna finish in 8th. You can hate that prediction, you can love that prediction. I just don't see how Newcastle can overtake those teams over a full season. From N, we go to M. Manchester United. Yes, everyone's probably waiting for Manchester United. There's a lot of Manchester United fans out there. So how is Manchester United going to do this season? Well, I can tell you that they're definitely going to improve on their last year's finish. That is 100%. Like, Man United was so inconsistent last year, it's not even funny. Actually, it is quite funny. But the signings that Manchester United have made, I think will make a major, major impact. Joshua Zirkzee has come in from Bologna. They also bought Lenny Yoro, who I think unfortunately is now injured for 3 months. That is a big, big loss. They're also looking to bring in Matthijs de Ligt from Bayern Munich, who's definitely a player they could use. But with the emergence of Kobe Mainu, still having Marcus Rashford, and of course Bruno Fernandes, I think think Manchester United will finish in a much better position than 8th than last season, and I think they're going to finish in that 5th spot. They're going to qualify for Europe. We're going to skip over Manchester City for obvious reasons, and we're going to go straight to Liverpool. What can you say about Liverpool? Quality up front, quality in the midfield, quality in the back, new manager, but they actually haven't made a single signing this summer. But I mean, they got Mohamed Salah, who still got it, obviously, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, Darwin Nunez, Luis Diaz, Alexis McAllister, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson and Nets. Like, this team is still absolutely stacked. Can Liverpool win the Premier League? Of course they can. They're a contender every single year, and they will be a contender once again this season, but I think they're going to finish in 3rd. Leicester City is back in the Premier League, and let's put it nice and simple for everybody. Leicester City is not getting relegated this season. Their squad already resembles more of a mid-table Premier League team, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Leicester. So yeah, Leicester City, although they will battle some relegation demons in the first season back to the Premier League, they will avoid them and finish in 17th. Oh, another promoted side in Ipswich Town. What a story of Ipswich Town, eh? What a story. Everyone's going to be cheering for them. All the creators are going to be making an FC25 Ipswich Town career mode save to make sure that Ipswich Town avoids relegation. By the way, if you want to see that from me, let me know. But can Ipswich Town really avoid relegation? Let's just put all the emotions aside and think logically. Let's be honest, this team is a heavy underdog. It is a very inexperienced Premier League side that consists of players that most of them have never played in the Premier League before. And this is why I think it's going to be an amazing story, and I really hope I'm wrong. I think Ipswich Town will still get relegated. As much as everybody wants them to stay up, and I want them to stay up too, I just don't see how they can do it. We are off to the letter F. Fulham and Craven Cottage. How is Fulham gonna do in the Premier League this season? To put it simply, as we did with Leicester City, ain't no way Fulham is getting relegated. Like, I mean, if you think Fulham is getting relegated, you got zero ball knowledge. Fulham isn't going anywhere. I absolutely love their 2 key signings so far, bringing back Ryan Sessegnon from Tottenham and Emil Smith-Rowe from Arsenal. So for me, it is a very clear-cut choice. Fulham finishes mid-table in 11th. And now we come to Everton, and Everton is just one of those clubs that at the start of the season, you think they're gonna do well, but they actually never do. Massive club, massive fan base, and just extremely poor results year after year. In the past 3 seasons, Everton has not finished above 15th in the Premier League, but I think going into this season, they've actually improved their squad. Yes, they lost Onana to Aston Villa, which is a very significant loss, but they brought in some quality players. Will they avoid relegation? Yes, the answer is of course. Everton will avoid relegation. I'm putting them in 13th. Crystal Palace, the days without Michael Olise begin at Crystal Palace. But listen, Crystal Palace this season, they're going to be very exciting to watch. Eze, Mateta, they brought in Daichi Kamada from Lazio. They brought in Ismaila Sarr from Marseille, who is extremely unpredictable. So if you want to be entertained this season, Crystal Palace is that team to watch, and they avoid relegation easily. For me, they finish in mid-table. They finish in 12th. All right, let's get to the good stuff. Chelsea. Chelsea. What are we going to do with Chelsea?
Hello there.
Chelsea is up to their old tricks once again. They're signing every single player they could get their hands on. I just don't know how much that's going to help them. They have like 4 possible goalkeepers in Sanchez and Petrovic. They signed Philip Jorgensen. They still have Kepa and Slanina. Do they think they can put all of them in nets at the same time or something? They got Cole Palmer. They're one of their best players. He was fantastic for England. He's going to continue to be fantastic for Chelsea this season. Noni Madueke is also quite decent, and we're finally going to see Christopher Nkunku play for Chelsea, because last season was a complete write-off. I think he only played like 14 matches due to injury. But what worries me is Chelsea's defense. I think this defense is just absolutely horrible. I think just like last season, this team is going to concede a lot of goals, and they're playing European football this season, so I think it's going to hurt their position in the Premier League. That is why I think Chelsea finishes mid-table. They are going to finish in 9th. Sorry guys, we got 6 more clubs to seed, and we're going to Brighton and Hove Albion. Now Brighton finished 11th last season. They had a little bit of a downfall year, but I don't think Brighton is getting relegated. Like, let's be real, Brighton is not going anywhere. I think Brighton is going to finish where they should, and they are going to finish mid-table around 14th, but they're definitely going to stay up comfortably. Off to Brentford. They toyed with relegation last season. They finished in 16th, and unfortunately I think this is the year that they go down. Last season Ivan Toney barely played because he was suspended, and it looks like he's going to be leaving this summer, and I don't think Mbeumo and Wissa can do it all on their own. I'm sorry Brentford, I love you, but I think you're getting relegated. You are going to finish in 19th. Aston Villa with Unai Emery. Good evening. I mean, what can you say about Aston Villa? This team is quality. Emery has brought this team back to life. And Aston Villa is playing in the Champions League this season. Now, some people are going to say that playing in the Champions League is going to hurt their season in the Premier League, but I actually think the opposite. They have very good squad depth. They added so many quality players. Ross Barkley now is Aston Villa. He was a standout player at Luton Town last year. Amadou Onana is in from Everton. And even Ian Maatsen has come in as another left-back option from Chelsea. I'm telling you, even though they lost Moussa Diaby to Al Ittihad, I can't believe he went to Saudi Arabia, bro. You're supposed to be playing Champions League football and you leave for Saudi. But even without Diaby, this team is going places. Aston Villa, top 4 finish once again. Aston Villa finishes in 4th. Bournemouth. I have high expectation for Bournemouth this year, guys. Last year, it was a 12th place finish. Dominic Solanke leading the way. Justin Kluivert providing also some quality. And although I hope for a possible European finish, maybe a little Conference League action, I just don't think Bournemouth is there just yet. A couple of great signings so far this offseason. Dean Huijsen has come in from Juventus, a very young and promising center back. They signed Enes Unal on a permanent deal. They brought back Luis Sinisterra on a permanent deal as well. And they brought in Daniel Jebbison from Sheffield United just to have another option up front. I honestly think this team is going to cook this year. But if all goes to plan, I feel like Bournemouth will have a top 10 finish. They finish right behind Chelsea and they move up from 12th last year to 10th this year. Only 2 more teams to seed, guys. Arsenal and Manchester City. 1st and 2nd. Who is winning the Premier League this season? Listen, we can't discredit Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Their lineup is absolutely sickening. They even brought in Savinho from Girona, who was on loan from Troyes. But Arsenal also hasn't gotten any worse. In fact, they got better. Calafiori has come in from Bologna. That is another center back / left back option. So their defense improved even more. I do think that Arsenal still lacks a little bit in that forward position. Gabby Jesus and Kai Havertz just don't do it for me. I want a clear-cut striker that'll score like 15 to 20 goals every single season. That is what Arsenal needs. But even without that, I think Arsenal will become Premier League champions and Manchester City will finish in 2nd. I think Arsenal is going to do it, guys. I think we're going to have a different winner this season. Let me know how you feel about this table. Arsenal in 1st, Man City in 2nd, Liverpool in 3rd, Aston Villa in 4th, Manchester United bounces back and finishes in 5th, Tottenham in 6th, West Ham United in 7th, Newcastle in 8th, Chelsea in 9th, Bournemouth rounds off the top 10. In 11th, we have Fulham, 12th Crystal Palace, Everton in 13th, Brighton and Hove Albion in 14th, 15th will go to Wolves, 16th will go to Nottingham Forest, 17th to Leicester City, and the bottom 3, 18th Southampton, 19th Brentford, and unfortunately Ipswich Town, rock bottom in 20th. This is my table. These are my predictions. Let me know your thoughts or any changes down below in the comments, and we're gonna go through this Premier League season together. A bunch of videos coming out on the channel, guys. FC24, we got FC25 coming, IRL, some other football stuff as well. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. I absolutely love you guys, so thank you for supporting me through this journey year after year. I really appreciate every single one of you. Hit the like button for me. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay happy, stay healthy, always keep smiling, and please don't hate me if your team is not in a place where you think they will end up. This is just a fun video and a friendly opinion. I love you guys as always. I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.